Okay, this is the beginning of my speaker build. I've picked Markaudio drivers, and I found some plans that were associated with those drivers, and I put those in Sketchup, so you can see right here. They're tall and bass reflex with a port on the front, and I've got my layout. You can see that right here. And I've got each of the panels dimensioned, and I'm going to put a 3/4 inch piece of hardwood around each of the plywood edges just to kind of dress it up a little bit. The problem I was having was this circular opening right here. I didn't know the exact size, so I'm going to go over to my drivers right now and show you what I've done. But in the meantime, these are the plans that I downloaded off the website, Markaudio website. And I've got the Alpair 10P, and this is the plan for that. This is the taller plan. There's some shorter, bookshelf type speakers, but I decided on the floor standing model, a little lower bass frequency response, because I just wanted to try it out. And on the right side, you can see I've got all the dimensions of all the different parts that I need to cut. And we're going to head over to the speaker right now. Okay, this is my Markaudio speaker or driver. And I measured it, and it came out to an inside radius of about 2.75 inches. Okay, here's where we're at. So I've routed this part of the speaker out, and what I did was I made my own circle template using a piece of plastic that I had. So these are the 4 mounting holes for the bottom of the router. This is where the bit fits through, and then this is the actual pivot point. So what I did was I put that on my router. This is my router, and chucked in a bit, and then went ahead and routed out the outside hole first, and then I cut the inside with a jigsaw. It turns out the critical portion of this is the outside mount, because you don't want that to be looking rough. You want it to look nice and smooth, a perfect circle, and the inside doesn't matter because you're not going to see that. So you route the outside first, and then just cut out the inside any old way that you can. That'll allow you to mount the driver in there and have it look somewhat professional looking. I've made some good progress on the cabinets, although pretty shoddy workmanship. I've got, so this is birch plywood that I cut to a little bit less than what I needed so that I could put these strips on. These are solid birch strips. I put those all the way around so I could do some round over bit on all the edges to just kind of give it a nice finished look. And some of the parts don't quite fit that good. I'm going to run through with my flush trimming bit along the tops and bottoms and along the sides just to get everything so that it's flush, and then I'll come through with a round over bit and round over the edges. The next thing that I'm going to do is I don't have the top and the bottom glued on this other cabinet. So this one I made even more mistakes. I don't know if you can see the bottom here, but there's a big gap there, but it's all getting filled in. I'm putting glue blocks all along the sides. You can see this. So the back is going to be screwed on. So there's glue blocks all along the sides, and the back is going to be screwed on. And the top and the bottom are going to be glued. And I'm going to put glue blocks on the insides on these edges. There's no reason why I can't do it on all 4 edges. So what I read was there's different ways of dampening a cabinet, and using this book selection. So this is what I'm doing. He mentioned that if you put these glue blocks, you're going to dampen a lot of the vibrations of the cabinet, which is what I want to do. And if I do it on all the corners, hopefully that will dampen most of the vibrations. So here I am gluing on the tops and the bottoms of the cabinets. I just put the glue around the edges and set the cabinets in place and then put some weight on top. Later I'm going to come in and put in the glue blocks, and I decided to put in some additional strips along each of the sides of the cabinet. So if there's any resonances, it'll push the frequencies up beyond the bass range. And here's the finished cabinet. Okay, here's my finished speaker. This is still being tested right now. I'm wasn't pleased at all with the performance when I first heard it, and from what I understand, there's a break-in period. I need to break in the driver. So that's what I've been doing. The bass response was actually really good. I was not thrilled with the high frequency response. It sounded kind of muffled, and it was very laid back, which I wasn't used to. So I don't know if my ears are getting better or it's starting to break in, but it's starting to sound better after about 3 or 4 days of playing it continuously. Well, probably 6-8 hours a day. So I'm going to keep working with this. I'm not going to give up because, as I understand it, a lot of the people with Markaudio drivers really like the sound. So I'm assuming that they're not lying, so it must sound good eventually. Okay, here's my finished speaker. I found a new location for them. The old location, turns out I was getting a lot of bass reflection off. There's some windows back there, and they were giving me a big, I think it was a standing wave at around 70 hertz, 80 hertz, somewhere around there. And it was just overpowering everything else. That's the reason why I couldn't hear the high frequencies. So I moved them over here, and everything flattened out. And I had to get a little kind of it's not a spectrum analyzer, but a kind of a frequency counter kind of thing app for my phone, and that's how I found out that I was getting those big standing waves. So this is much better. I've actually got a balanced output now, and it actually sounds really good. And I'm still working with it, but it's pretty much there at this point. And I finished the cabinets with an oil finish, and I'm going to pretty much leave those alone, and that's it for now. So I'll put a little sound demo in here.